Alright, this is gonna be a little more of a low-key stream. Because this is gonna be a short stream and it's kinda late. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. No, that's fine.
Save on new appliances at Best Buy.
On June 27, 2018, Scott Cawthon would drop a game that would tear up the Max Mode community for the next several years, with variations of the game that would push the limits to unreal expectations. I am referring to no other game than Ultimate Custom Night. Upon opening the game, your eyes will gaze upon 50 characters and a 20 AI level cap. To a new person, this huge roster and its maxed out modes seem impossible. I mean, if you were to open the night with all the characters at 20 level AI, you would easily get jumped. Only by Nightmare Marinette though. Well, fast forward to July 8th, 2018, an absolute game known as Rendering, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, beat the seemingly impossible mode. Oh my god! Ooh! Then, shortly after, Dako and DJ Sturf beat this Madman mode.
Oh, I didn't know I had a queue.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Lord.
Since then, the game has been beaten and abused by crazy madmen like the Bones 5, Brayden, and the Shooter 25, with crazy green runs, no death coin runs, and UCN mods. Or, if you want to play off the Zooter, you know, you can. Then you have me, SSJ Josiah, the guy who does ultra free challenges and gets no big. As somebody who has wanted to beat 50-20 so badly, this video is just that. This is my journey to beat the ultimate max mode.
It's a car. Oh! No, it's not. Oh, let's get going. Hey. Yeah, I guess we're getting food first. Go, go, go. Well, I know where I'm going for a ravine. What this tree? Dude, I'm low-key tweaking. Up. Oh my gosh. Where it's not cooking. Fine. Hey. Where's the Bastion now? Mod, show me the Bastion. Oh. Thank you, mods. Thank you for showing me the Bastion. Oh, I fell there. Oh, what's good? This is chill. These two housing. Oh, hi. Dude, I was not locked in for that match.
Before we make that big jump to 50-20, we first have to get familiar with fast coin farming, not dying to Nightmare Balloon Boy, very fast event resets, not dying to Nightmare Balloon Boy, and last and not least, GMB cycle, and of course, not dying to Nightmare Balloon Boy. Now, before we get to these explanations, I will have to say that some of Bones' video will come and explain better parts of what I'm trying to get at, but we are going to start with 4020.
And I'm on the block in New York.
Too easy. 81%, bruh. That's my new PB. Now this is arguably way easier than FNAF 1 420. And I'm gonna show you guys why. This is basically just setting you up for the basis of 4520, of 4920, and 5020.
While you're loading into the night and see the black screen, hold down the 1 key. This will buffer the power generator input and you'll be able to turn it on right as the night begins. We don't need to use any tools outside of the power generator and fan for the whole night, so you can keep them both on the entire time.
Events, keeping your camera cam too, and that will ultimately just get you
Good.
in rotation.
And I threw it
This is
with ball.
super easy, and yeah,
It's even better.
not really much trouble with this.
And I'm on the block in New York.
Love this shot.
Now 45 is a bigger jump due to the fact that you have to start learning the GMB cycle. Now the GMB cycle stands for the Global Musical Box.
Cycle. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got that right.
Basically, at every 01 and 31 second interval, you're gonna switch to the power generator. And then when you get to 14 and 44 second intervals, you're gonna switch to the music box, thus the cycle.
When loading into the night, the initial setup is the exact same. Place the lure on the left side of the ducts, select camera 2, then drop the cameras. However, the office stalling portion is a bit more complicated. We can't just sit with the power gen and fan on all night anymore. The power generator makes too much noise for Music Man and Lefty, and Puppet and Chica will quickly become angry without any music. Luckily, all of these animatronics intervals and timers line up perfectly for a simple strategy known as the GMD cycle.
Now, this is gonna fend off against the music animatronics such as
Oh, and pause the video. Whoops. There we go. Up. Whatever.
Bones, can you please help me explain it? Yeah, just pop up the video right here.
Basically, this is going to be your training backbone for 4920 and 5020, but you're gonna see where it starts to get a little shaky. Once I was able to master 4520, it was now time to jump to 4920. This is where it tests your reaction time and how knowledgeable you are with the intervals, and this is exactly why.
And I'm on the block, way New York.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Now there's gonna be two things that you're mainly gonna look out for, but it's also like universal to the other problems that Bones has probably mentioned. Once I was able to master the GMB cycle for 4520, it was now time to move to 4920. Now basically this is 5020, but without the first 30-second sequence of the night. I will also explain that later. What you're basically doing is you're just trying to fend off against Foxy and his horrible RNG and Toy Freddy.
So for almost the entire night, Toy Freddy is going to be in his kill stage and will have that 1 in 10 chance to jump scare you on every half-second interval. So resetting the ventilation as fast as possible is essential so you can hopefully avoid as many of these intervals as possible. If you're really good at cam flips, you can avoid Toy Freddy's intervals entirely by flipping on 0.3 seconds. But this is a bit above the current skill we're aiming for right now, and just for a basic 4920 run isn't really needed. We're going to have to learn a completely new tech to deal with our second to last animatronic, and that is Foxy. Along with Toy Freddy, Foxy is known for being one of the most RNG-based animatronics in this game. Foxy's whole mechanic through pretty much every FNAF game has always been to look at him in Pirate's Cove to stop him. But remember, we can't do that because we're too busy cam stalling everyone else. But because of the way that Foxy and Bonnie are programmed, we do have a way to deal with him without ever needing to check Pirate's Cove the entire night. Remember, earlier in the AI section, I mentioned how Bonnie and Foxy switching in Pirate's Cove is triggered by the animation of the cameras being pulled down, not being on the cameras. We can use this to our advantage to implement a technique called zero-frame flipping.
Everything else kind of clashes with each other, so if you follow Bones' strat, everything works perfect. Literally, I was following a strat, and this is how I got, that far.
This far. How I got the win. Okay, whatever.
Basically, if you see Foxy's figurine on your desk, you're gonna zero-frame flip to get the back to Bonnie. You just don't want Foxy on your desk at all. It's gonna kill you. It's quite literally gonna kill you. And other than that, since you're absolutely stunningly quick, you cannot be on the cans for too long during vent resets or toys. So the most that makes sense to me. I'm just thank you, Bones. That is. I can explain this better. But yeah, now once you got that all down, cycle, fast resets, toggling between the, we're ready to go to 5020.
And I'm on the block, way New York.
Now like Bo said in his video, the jump from 4920 to 5020 is a way bigger gap than
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
You might think that the UCM progression graph would look like this, linearly. As you add more animatronics, the game gradually gets more difficult at a constant rate. But in reality, it's more like this, taking an exponential form.
And the reason why is because the first 30 seconds of the night, you're supposed to get a bunch of fast coins to Death Coin Funtime Foxy. Meanwhile, you have to block off Toy Freddy at the 10-second mark, pray that you get good RNG for an 11-second Zor. So after you do the Funtime Foxy sequence, Death Coin thing, you can push off Plush Trap, and boom, you're going straight into 4920 strategy. The reason why 5020 is considered super hard is literally because of the sequence I explained. You have to get good RNG for Zor so she just doesn't screw you and give freaking back shots later on. There were some times that, during my stream, I got a 40-second Zor spawn or a minute Zor spawn. You don't want that. That's bad. Another thing is that it really tests your interval skills out because if you flip on the wrong interval, Rockstar Bunny's gonna come in and just start
Pumping you full of lead. I'm gonna stop doing that now.
You just gotta play with accuracy for that first 30 seconds, and everything else is just raw. All of this, originally, everything that we've talked about in this video, everything that Bones has talked about, 5020 will be yours. Okay, that would have not been good. I would just like to give a special thank you and shout out to those who gave me tips on beating the seemingly impossible fight. Go check their stuff out, they deserve the world. Now, all explanations aside and whatnot, let's take a gander at SSJ Josiah's final attempts and 5020. Thank you to everybody who watched this unfold live. Let this be a reminder to join the Discord and follow the Instagram for upcoming videos. Now let's get into it.
I saw myself in sister location, bro. I saw myself in sister location 1020 trying to spam LOL while trying to block off Funtime Freddy.
Okay. In 10 seconds. Find a different spawner. Okay. Let's just find here. You see it? And it broke. We don't care. I'll get an extra rod. Bang, one of my cords. Negative 246. I have to go this way. Negative 66. 6 is this way. Negative 66. So that's right there. This is off in here. Ugh. Negative 246. Perfect. Negative 66. Okay. You know what, just go swim it. Just go. Okay. How are you here? Okay, there's a spawner here. Oh my god.
Where'd my shirt go?
Deposit 5 coins.
No, shut up.
Please deposit. Thank you for depositing 5 coins.
It was a good run. It was a good run, guys. It was a good run. It was a really good run. 352 is our best run. That is 48 seconds off of win. That's really good, guys. No, it's really good because one, we're resetting faster, which is very good. But I just need to like conserve my power, which I really don't know how to do that. But we got that. We got that, guys. Lock in, lock in, lock in. I missed it, bro. I missed it. Don't want you getting dehydrated. True. Should I get a glass of water? Let me get a glass of water. Oh crap. It's a 0 frame flip. It's basically what I was doing to like switch over from Foxy to Bonnie statues. These gummies laced. Cloudy, bro. Unreal. Now you gotta beat 50-20, Cloudy. Or imagine 50-20. That's what my boy Cloudy did. He played 50-20 high. Those peak videos. My first video I saw from him. Ooh, that was close. Ooh. One more flip. Come on. Yo, chill out. Last flip, guys. That's the last flip. Last flip. No way. No way. No way. No way. Lock it. Oh my. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Let's go. King Saiyan, that's my name. Let's go. 50-20 down. Someone take a screenshot of that 10K. 10,600. Oh my gosh! Bro, we did it. After like 3 days of real grinding. First time playing 50-22. Let's go. Let's go. 50-20 down. Let's go. Yes! Golden Freddy. We did it. 50-20 off our to-do list. Words can't even describe how proud I am. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. Yo, honestly, thank you guys. Thank you everybody who was... Yo, thank you everybody. Holy crap. I did it, bruh. We did it. Let's go, bro. Hey, we're gonna turn this into a video. Let's turn this into a video. Gosh, we did it, guys. Holy frick. We actually did it. We actually did it. Perfect Toy Freddy RNG. Perfect Foxy RNG. Everyone say hello to YouTube, bro. Hold on, let me pull this down more. Everyone say hello to YouTube. We're gonna make a video out of this. Someone said, I swear that water had to be laced with something because immediately I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I got this water, I started... What's going on, everybody? If you made it this far into the video, please comment GG. You know, it's one of the greatest feats I've had so far on this channel, so you know it didn't take long for me to beat this challenge, which is actually really cool. But once again, shout out to everybody who helped me out, you know, and I'm looking forward to other harder projects that are coming on the way. I can't quite say what's coming, but just know it's...
If you've ever played a FNAF Max Mode or watched someone play a FNAF Max Mode, then you've probably heard the excuse that the game has given the player such bad RNG that they can't win. You'll see this pretty often in FNAF 2 with Toy Bonnie or Foxy.
I played this seed. I mean, maybe not this exact seed. But I played a seed that looked quite glittery. like this. Wait, I'm just a little bit too close. This is Bastion, bro. I mean, I didn't necessarily mean to do this route. Okay. I always go this way. I always go out the way I came from. It's probably so much faster. Like, what am I doing? Yeah, well, this isn't fine. I could just homeportable. Surely it's just somewhere over there. You run far this way. Very far this way. Like so extremely far. Okay, I kinda thought the bro would be in there. Boy. Wait, who's no? Bro there. No, bro. No, that's the Bastion. No, okay, okay. Alright. Alright, and now PB time.
No! No! Or maybe in FNAF 3 with Springtrap. But what if these animatronics decided that enough was enough? Players beating every single max mode in a row. Players beating max modes with ridiculous amounts of power, or doing them up to 15 times in a row. Those days were over. In this series of videos, we'll be modding every single FNAF game to give me the worst possible luck no matter what. If anything has a chance to go wrong, it will go wrong. So it's time to answer the question, can you beat FNAF's max modes with the worst possible luck? I hope you enjoy. Here's how I'm going to be structuring this video. This is part 1 of what will likely be a 2-part series. In this video, we'll be covering FNAF 1 to 3, with part 2 covering 4 to UCN. Before I explain how I did on each buffed up max mode, I'll first explain the changes we made to each game, and why it's the unluckiest possible version of this game. So, let's lay out some rules. We have to mod every single game so that any
freaking insta-perch? I have to hit a 5 explosive. I have to hit a 4 explosive. Okay, well, good luck to me. It's gonna be bad if that guy was my enemy. Sure. Wood. I got nothing. Oh, there we go. 4 explosive. Let's freaking go. 1454 is my PB, and I got a 15 something. I don't remember.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. For example, if Toy Bonnie enters the vent, yeah, he's never leaving. However, unlike my other challenges, to deal with these buffed up animatronics, we're going to need every bit of technical knowledge that we have, so glitches and game breaking strategies are on the table, so long as they don't use any external programs to alter the game. Night skips like CD Plus and file editing are banned though, for obvious reasons. Because we're allowing cheese strats, I'm going to give each game a rating once we're done with it. If a max mode is ranked as a green possible, then it's possible without any cheese strats and can be done 100% legit. If a game is ranked with a yellow possible, then some form of cheese or glitches is required to get through it when given the worst possible luck. And if a game is ranked as impossible, everything we threw at it just didn't work, and the RNG was just too strong. Any cheese, nothing worked. Before we get into these games, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Brayden for coding all of these unluckiest versions of the first 3 FNAF games. I'll have them all posted in the description if you'd like to try them for yourself. With that out of the way, let's get into our first game of FNAF 1. I'm gonna assume you have a basic understanding of movement opportunities and intervals if you clicked on this video, but if not, here's like a 20-second explanation. In FNAF games, every animatronic usually has a set time interval. Every interval, the game will generate a random number between 1 and 20 for that animatronic. If this number is less than or equal to their AI level, they will move, attack, or progress depending on who it is or what game we're in. Basically, every interval, animatronics have an AI in 20 chance to act. Now with that basic explanation out of the way, we can get into our changes in FNAF 1. In FNAF 1, the biggest factor is Foxy, so that was the first thing that changed. When you view the cameras in FNAF 1, and this doesn't need to be Foxy's camera, just any camera, Foxy is guaranteed to fail all movement opportunities from a random number between 50 frames and 1049 frames. So, when you quickly pull up the cameras and put them back down, Foxy cannot move until his stall timer is up, and he has a successful movement opportunity on his standard interval of 5.02 seconds. So, in our version of FNAF 1, Foxy will always roll 50 frames, meaning he's only stalled
Holy diamonds. Um, Yo, RP? Looting 3? We check it for the content. Also, there's pigs over here. Or there could be food in the chest. There's nothing, none of the above. Let's just get these sheeps. This way. I hate it always. See changing that video with all that.
Hold for 0.83 seconds once the cameras are pulled down. When Foxy hits the door, he randomly starts back in Pirate's Cove in stage 0 or 1. So in our version, he always starts in stage 1. Bonnie and Chica also have some changes. There aren't any AI caps in FNAF 1, so they can't just rush the door and stay there forever. However, there is still RNG in their pathing. Here are Bonnie and Chica's movement trees. Anywhere that an arrow is pointing, Bonnie and Chica can go on a given movement opportunity, with all of these paths sharing an equal chance. For example, if Bonnie is in Cam 5, he has an equal chance to go to Cam 1B or Cam 2A. So in our version of FNAF 1, Bonnie and Chica will always take their fastest possible routes to our office doors. However, if they always took a scripted path, you'd be able to predict exactly when they'd be at the doors every single time with a timer. So when Bonnie reaches the hall corner, he has a 1/2 chance to go to the door and a 1/2 chance to go to the closet. And when Chica reaches the hall corner, she has a 1/2 chance to go to the door and a 1/2 chance to go to the east hall. Lastly, Freddy will always give you the shortest blackout possible, which ranges from 7 seconds to 12 seconds depending on when you black out. So with all of these buffed up animatronics, how do we even stand a chance at this new 420 mode? I decided that I would play this night for around 5 hours legitimately before I started to resort to our own kind of RNG, if you know what I mean. In order to stand any chance against these animatronics, we're going to need to use this interval timer made by Shooter25. number on the top right represents
Where's the fortress? Where is it? Like, I don't freaking see it.
Narrator. Chat edit box. Chat edit box. Chat edit box. BBB. Narrator, off.
And was it this way? Oh my gosh. Like, how am I supposed to see that? Like, actually, how am I supposed to do that?
Chica's intervals. And this purple number right here represents Foxy's intervals. This big white number is the length for the entire night. Each of these numbers are scaled such that 1000 is always equal to one full interval. So I'll just call these numbers units. Once any of these numbers hit 0, the given animatronic will move, as their movement equation is always true. But what we care about the most is Foxy's timer. Because Foxy is always as unlucky as possible, his stall time is virtually non-existent. So we have to rely on his standard interval in order to keep him at bay, which is roughly 5.02 seconds. This means that we'll have to have the cameras open on every single Foxy interval. The best way to do this is to pull up the cameras when Foxy's timer reaches 200, and drop it when it reaches 850. For our standard strategy, we'll be going with the modern FNAF 1 420 strat. But instead of pulling up the cameras and checking the lights on an alternating cycle, we'll check both lights, then pull up the cameras to catch Foxy's interval. It's extremely important that your camera never leaves
1520. No, bounce this way. Okay, I was sold it anyways. It's fine. Dude, I'm getting on base so many times.
Leaves cam 4B the entire night. Not only because it stalls Freddy, but also because checking Foxy at any point during the entire night will pause his interval timer, desyncing you with the video for the interval timer. So, not only is Foxy's stall timer super strict, but we also can't check which stage he's in throughout the night. While Foxy is the most difficult part of this night on paper, it isn't actually what makes this night so challenging. What makes this so difficult is the extremely slight differences in interval timers. For some reason, and this is only in FNAF 1, Scott decided to make every animatronic move on slightly different intervals. In every other FNAF game, this is usually a whole number across the board, but here, this causes tons of problems. Maybe he knew that the Bones 5 YouTube channel on YouTube would try to beat this game with the worst luck possible, like 10 years later, who knows, man. Here's what I mean. Take a look at the interval timer roughly around 1 AM. Everything seems roughly synced up. Remember that once Foxy's interval crosses over, we have to check both doors to deal with Bonnie and Chica before Fox Foxy's next interval. By the time Foxy's interval crosses over at 1 AM, we still have a good bit of time to deal with Bonnie and Chica, roughly 800 units. But these FNAF 1 nights are long, and after a while, the 0.04 and 0.05 second differences between Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy begin to add up. So now, fast forward to roughly 3 to 4 AM. At this point, you're barely getting any Anytime to check Bonnie and Chica, and if they both happen to be at your doors, it's game over. You'll have to start closing the door and reopening it before you even check Foxy, but even then, it still isn't fast enough. Not to mention, you have to be on perfect power pace, as you only have a 12-second power outage sequence at best. And with needing to be on the cameras for much longer to make sure you're over Foxy's intervals, this becomes a lot harder. Missing a single light check or not opening a door instantly will cause you to go off pace. In roughly 7 hours of breaking my neck to attempt this, I wasn't able to complete FNAF 1 with the worst possible luck. However, it may be possible with no cheese. Just extremely, extremely difficult. I'll be putting the link to this version of FNAF 1 in the description along with the interval timer. If anyone would like to attempt this challenge for themselves and prove that it is in fact possible, that's great and I'd love to see it. But from my personal experience, the power and desync on later hours just wasn't enough and I couldn't do it. As far as cheese strats go, FNAF 1 has multiple that we can use. We could go with the 1 FPS strat, but that's lame, so I chose to go with the Foxy glitch. I think it's a bit more fitting, as Foxy has definitely caused us the most pain this time around. I've explained this glitch in detail before on other videos, so I'll just give a brief explanation here. Basically, when you open a door in FNAF 1, right as Foxy gets to the door, he's gonna wait right outside the door until it's fully open, then enter and jump scare you. So for the 12 frames that the door is in this opening animation, Foxy is at the door, but he is not jump scaring you. During these 12 frames, you can turn on the light, which has a 20% chance to flicker every single frame. When this flicker happens, the entire sprite for the office resets, which deletes Foxy's sprite and makes the rest of the night completely free. So for FNAF 1's unluckiest max mode, I'm giving it a possible with cheese. Now, that was a bit of a boring conclusion. However, for our next game, which is considered by a lot of players to be the most RNG based FNAF game, it really could not be any more different. In FNAF 2, there were a multitude of luck factors that we had to change in order to make it as unlucky as possible 100% of the time. The first big change is with Foxy. Normally on 1020 mode, Foxy is one of the biggest threats the player has to worry about. His jump scare is defined by this equation, with this D variable representing the amount of seconds he's gone without the flashlight in his eyes. But what we're interested in is this random 0 to 4 right here. This part of the equation determines how much leeway you have with Foxy when using the flashlight. So in our version of FNAF 2, Foxy will always roll a 0 in this equation, giving you 4 seconds maximum to go without flashing Foxy. The reason this is 4 seconds and not 1 second is because of Foxy's AI cap at 17 AI. In this mod, we only alter RNG that's possible within the confines of the vanilla game. So removing the RNG cap for someone like Toy Bonnie just makes him move 100% of the time. Whereas with Foxy, it creates timers that wouldn't be possible in vanilla FNAF 2. So his AI cap stays at 17. Speaking of Toy Bonnie, he's usually the other big threat that people talk about when playing 1020 mode. Normally, once Toy Bonnie enters your vent, he has a 1/2 chance to leave the vent every 0.5 seconds that the mask is on. Because this is a 1/2 chance, we've modded Toy Bonnie to never leave the vent. So, once he's there for good. Every toy and withered animatronic has had their AI caps removed. So now, everyone will succeed at 100% of their movement opportunities. If Mangle gets in the office, she will attack given her first chance when the cameras are up. Golden Freddy will also appear on every single camera drop if you happen to have the cameras up on a 5-second interval. Every single vent animatronic with the exception of Toy Bonnie will usually have a 1 in 10 chance to leave the vent every second. Then they are guaranteed to leave the vent after 5 full seconds with the mask on. In our version, this 1 in 10 chance does not exist, and vent animatronics will only leave after the full 5 seconds. Lastly, the puppet will succeed every single movement once the music box runs out. Normally, the puppet will roll a 1 in 4 chance to stay in the box for an additional second after the music box runs out. So, with our mod, she will instantly leave every time. So, with all of these changes, how can we possibly stand a chance at this 1020 mode? My first thought was to see if the current best 1020 strategy in the meta would work. For those who don't know, the most consistent and humanly viable 1020 strat at the moment is Braden's strategy. This strategy relies on how Golden Freddy's spawns work. Basically, if you never have the cameras open on 5-second intervals, Golden Freddy can never spawn. So you can flash through blackouts and wind for 9 full ticks on every single music box cycle. In addition, Toy Bonnie entering the vent will always be set on a counter of 200 frames or 3.33 seconds. So if you have the vent light on during 3.33 and 8.33 second intervals, you can completely stall Toy Bonnie entering the vent. However, there's a major problem with this strategy during this challenge. Because of the way we're setting up blackouts with the Braden strat, we'll never be able to hit both Toy Bonnie intervals of 3.33 and 8.33. So eventually, Toy Bonnie will show up. Toy Bonnie has a 1/3 chance to leave the vent every second when a blackout is happening. But because this is a chance, he's never going to leave. So unfortunately, any traditional 1020 strategies aren't going to work here. We are going to need a strategy that prevents Toy Bonnie from ever entering the vent across the entire night. So let me introduce you to -7. -7 is a strategy developed by Nico Frost, and is the only strategy in FNAF 2 that completely eliminates Toy Bonnie RNG. You see, when you flash an animatronic on the cameras, they are stunned and cannot move for 400 frames or 6.66 seconds. This will apply to every animatronic present in a given camera, although you may only see one present because of sprite priority. Lucky for us, all 7 of the animatronics that we can install have to go through these 3 cameras, hence the name -7. Toy Bonnie and Withered Chica have to go through cam 4, Withered Bonnie, Withered Freddy, and Toy Chica have to go through cam 7, and Toy Freddy and Mangle have to go through cam 10. So if we pull up the cameras and flash these 3 cameras on every 2 and every 7-second interval, we can keep all of these animatronics permanently stalled while also never giving Foxy more than 3 seconds for his jump scare equation to become true. This would be the new easiest way to beat FNAF 2's 1020, except for one animatronic that makes all of the difference. If you thought Toy Bonnie was bad, there is someone that is so much worse. Balloon Boy is the only reason that despite -7 being a well-known strategy, there are only 6 recorded PC victors and 1 console victor globally. You see, every animatronic that moves in a traditional manner is able to be stalled with the flashlight. Every animatronic except for Balloon Boy. For whatever reason, maybe it's because he takes your flashlight batteries so he's immune, I don't really know to be honest, Balloon Boy simply does not care when you flash him on the cameras. So we have to adjust our playstyle to deal with Balloon Boy attacks. Because Balloon Boy is the only animatronic that can naturally move throughout the building, we know that any vent sound that plays must be Balloon Boy in the vents. So here's how you deal with a Balloon Boy attack. Once you hear banging in the vents for the first time, hold the cameras on whatever 2 or 7-second interval you're on. But make sure you get out of the cameras before the next 5-second interval. Because Balloon Boy doesn't have a kill timer, he can only move into the vent blind spot when the cameras are up, and will cue his movement once the next 5-second interval passes. Because we're playing with the worst possible luck, Balloon Boy is never going to fail movements. So we know he's guaranteed to cue his movement on this 5-second interval. Now, pull up the cameras and flash 10, 4, and 7 as fast as you possibly can. Then immediately drop the cameras and put on the mask. Now it's a battle of reaction time. Balloon Boy is going to wait in the vents for a maximum of 5 seconds. So the moment his sound cue for leaving the vent begins to play, you need to pull up the cameras and flash 10, 4, and 7 again as fast as you possibly can. Now, here's what a full Balloon Boy attack looks like in normal speed. This window is extremely precise. When factoring in the time that it takes for the camera and mask animations, both pulling them up and putting them down, this leaves roughly 0.6 seconds of reaction time for you to keep all the animatronics in their stun. Though Balloon Boy can sometimes be forgiving enough and will cut the player some slack with good enough RNG. For one, if he fails movements on his way to the office, he won't appear as much and therefore the night will be a lot easier. He could also leave the vent early during his attacks, as vent animatronics have that 1 in 10 chance every second to leave the vent when the mask is on. If he happens to leave early, it's really easy to keep the animatronics in their stun. During my first -7 completion, Balloon Boy attacked a total of 10 times. During 6 of those times, he left the vent early by hitting a 1 in 10 chance on one of the 4 seconds he was in the vent. Meaning that throughout my first -7 completion, I only really had to deal with 4 hard Balloon Boy attacks. Now, with our version, Balloon Boy can no longer fail multiple times in the office, and he never leaves the vent early. So do you want to guess how many perfect Balloon Boy attacks we have to survive? 16! If you want to beat FNAF 2 with the unluckiest possible RNG, Balloon Boy is going to move every chance he gets. This means that once you finish an attack from Balloon Boy, he's back in that vent in 15, count 'em, 15 seconds. In order to survive the night, you'll have to have insanely cracked aim and reaction time. Messing up in the slightest will cause the animatronics to be free from their stun, or for you to lose precious music box time. So, how was I doing with this challenge? Not great, to be honest. After 2 hours of attempting this challenge, I was struggling to even get past the 1:30 mark. The camera buttons were just so small, and to rapidly hit all—
Now can you hear me? Bed. Dang. Wait, is my mic quiet? I'm just not close to it. That was the first episode. Don't spoil. It was interesting. It was very interesting. It was good. I liked it. You're about to watch it? Let me know what you think of it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I'll turn down the game a little bit. How's that?
All three of them consistently seemed like impossible precision, until I got an idea. In FNAF games where players have to hit specific locations super quickly, players will
Wait, I'm stupid. I'm so dumb, bro. Broke clutch.
Will sometimes use sticky note strategies and put sticky notes on their monitor so they can aim to a location before it's even on screen. Some examples of this would be Munch Jr. from 5's Chuck E. Cheese Rebooted, or the reset ventilation button in Ultimate Custom Night. I figured that if I used sticky notes and placed them on cameras 4, 7, and 10, I could aim at those cameras while the camera monitor was still being pulled up, meaning I could hit the cameras a few frames faster. This was starting to make a bit of a difference in helping me survive Balloon Boy attacks, but I still wasn't consistent enough. So I needed to go to boot camp. Shooter25 had developed a practice mod for FNAF 2, where you can make Puppet never leave the box, among other challenges and cheats. So I would run into a game of 10-0 with the box never running out, and just practice hitting these 3 cameras over and over and over again. But even with this practice, I still couldn't get the hang of it in an actual game setting. So I had to think a little bit deeper, and then I realized, more often than not, I was failing to hit cameras 7 and 10 by either overshooting or undershooting the camera button. These cameras roughly form in a triangle pattern. Does this motion remind you of anything? That's right, the last video where I attempted my hardest FNAF challenge yet, Rat and Cat All Challenges. When Rat and Cat were moving in this triangle-like pattern, there was one situation where I would fail the most, having to move in a diagonal pattern to the bottom right. If you'd like to see a bit of a deeper look on this wrist movement and aiming, I'd highly suggest you go and watch that video after this one. But in the case of FNAF 2, I realized what I had to do. If I wanted to eliminate the motion of moving to the bottom right, I just had to change the order that I flashed the cameras in. Up to this point, I had been flashing in the order of 4, 7, and then 10. Now I would flash in the order of 10, 4, and then 7, perfectly matching the motions that I would use in the prediction movement for Rat and Cat. I also figured that with much smaller movements, I would need to be more precise. So, for the sake of better aim control and to not shatter my wrist any longer, I ditched my old mouse pad with a wrist rest in favor of a flat pad with more room, and turned the DPI of my mouse down to lower the overall sensitivity. Now I could accurately hit all 3 cameras much more consistently. I also figured that instead of flashing the 3 cameras separately in quick succession, I could keep the flashlight held down. That way, the only thing that I had to focus on was my mouse movement. Keeping the flashlight held down during Balloon Boy attacks comes with another added bonus. When coming up from a Balloon Boy attack, the frame that you open your cameras, you'll always be on the 3rd camera in your cycle, which for me is cam 7. So you'll only need to click 2 cameras in the recovery. By only hitting 2 cams, you'll mess up less but also get more time on the music box. For one final optimization, I had to address one problem. Sometimes during the recovery phase after a Balloon Boy attack, I would fumble and click cam 1 when trying to flick to the music box to wind. So instead of doing 2 separate clicks to click on cam 11, then click to wind the music box, you can click on cam 11, then keep the mouse button held down, as you don't need to separately click to start winding the box. You just have to have your cursor over it with the button held down. With all of these optimizations, I was able to score a personal best of 330 on the timer, but I finally felt that I was getting somewhat consistent with this challenge. I felt that it was finally time to prove that FNAF 2 truly isn't a luck-based max mode. After all these years of people calling it impossible and true RNG, it was finally time to fight every animatronic at their absolute strongest, in the absolute worst 1020. 3:30. Holy shit! Yes! Oh my god! Oh. Holy shit. Oh my god. I am shaking so bad. Another fluke, almost as crazy as the rat and cat one. If you'd like to view the full uncut run for the unluckiest 1020, I have it up on the second channel. Somehow, I managed to completely fluke unluckiest 1020 from 3 AM. On top of that, I ended up missing the stun on one of the final stalls for all the animatronics, giving me 40 seconds to survive and hope that I could get enough box to outlast Toy Bonnie. With that, we can officially say that FNAF 2 is completely possible with no cheese and with the worst luck. Now, with FNAF 2 done, how does the actual most luck-based game fare with the worst possible luck? FNAF 3 is known for being extremely luck-based, so how can we make this as bad as possible? Let's go over the changes this time around. When Springtrap spawns into the night, he can spawn a random camera from 10 to 6. He will always spawn in Camp 6. Springtrap will also always take the fastest possible route to the office. The audio lure normally has a 1 in 7 chance to fail, so now it just straight up doesn't work. Wonderful. Springtrap will now always roll a 0 in his movement equation instead of a random number from 0 to 14. Basically, this means that Springtrap will now always move on every other second. All of the phantoms will now spawn on every single opportunity they have. Both sealing vents and rebooting systems as RNG, so we'll adjust those accordingly. Sealing vents in FNAF 3 can take a random amount of time between 0.83 seconds and 1.65 seconds, so vents will always take 1.65 seconds to seal. Rebooting a single system could take 5 to 10 seconds, so it will always take 10 full seconds. Rebooting all can take anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds, so it will always take 20 full seconds. All of these changes combined creates one of the worst FNAF experiences ever. If you think there's any chance of this being possible legitimately, you would be wrong. Here's what a normal playthrough of Aggressive Nightmare looks like with the worst possible luck. So yeah, we're immediately resorting to cheese strats. In FNAF 3, there's really only one cheese strategy, and that's the FGP or Freddy game player strategy. Once Springtrap enters your office, he can only actually jump scare you when 2 conditions are met. If you have a ventilation error, whether it be from idling in the office too long or from a phantom jump scare, or if you have the cameras or maintenance panel up for a collective second. On every night except night 6, the ventilation will naturally fail after a given number of time, decreasing each night. But because the ventilation cannot naturally fail, the only way for the ventilation to fail is through phantom jump scares or idling in the office for more than 10 seconds. So if we hold the cameras for as little time as possible, we can stretch how long we survive in the office. Optimally, you'd flip the cameras up on every 9.99 second interval. But for a humanly possible route, the strategy is usually 8 seconds. So if we never reach a cumulative second with the cameras up, Springtrap can never attack us. Here's where the problem comes in. Springtrap will always enter the office before 1 AM. Because our audio lures just don't work, there's no way to keep them out. Every phantom is going to spawn every single chance they have, meaning on every single hour interval, Phantom Freddy will spawn. Normally, when using FGP, you'd eat the first Phantom Freddy jump scare at 1 AM to get rid of him for the rest of the night. But we can't do that here because Springtrap is already in our office. So, we have to deal with Phantom Freddy while also trying to flip for as little time as possible. Phantom Freddy will jump scare you if you're idle for 2 seconds, so space out your flips as best you can while staying within 2 seconds. Unfortunately, even with frame-perfect flips, you'll have flipped enough times for Springtrap to be ready to jump scare you. Once you've used up your second on the cameras, Springtrap has a 50% chance to jump scare you. So, with our mod, he's always gonna kill. I wasn't able to get very far with this cheese strat. But for a moment, let's see if it would be possible with a tool-assisted run. Let's assume that every single flip you do is always frame perfect, a 1-frame flip, as 0-frame flips don't exist in FNAF 3. So you have 60 total flips before Springtrap is guaranteed to jump scare you. Springtrap will usually be in the office by 40 seconds. So that's when our 60 flip countdown starts. From 40 seconds to 102, we use 3 flips. Then, in order to deal with the first Phantom Freddy spawn, we have to flip a total of 12 times, as he's active for roughly 23 seconds. We then have to flip 6 more times to get to 2 AM, where Phantom Freddy will spawn again. So add 12 more flips to that counter. We then flip 6 more times to get to 3 AM, and then 12 more times to get past the 3 AM Phantom Freddy. We can flip 6 more times to get to 4 AM, but there's no possible way for us to get past Phantom Freddy. So if I had to estimate the most perfect run of FNAF 3 with the worst possible luck, it would be around 408, assuming every single flip you hit was frame perfect. So within this video, we found that FNAF 1 is possible with cheese, and is maybe possible without it, but very unlikely. FNAF 2 is 100% possible legitimately, and FNAF 3 is completely impossible even with cheese. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see a part 2 where we cover FNAF 4 to UCN, please like, comment, subscribe, and join the Discord. The recent support on the channel has been absolutely crazy, and I am so eternally grateful. So again, please keep it up, it's been wonderful. It might be a bit until the next upload, because I'm going on vacation for the summer, and honestly, I think I might need a bit of a break after all the recent challenge vids, but it won't be too long, so don't worry. 3-week break at the very most. With that said, thank you guys for watching. As always, peace.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a game that has been pushed to its limits and broken from every conceivable angle. We have beaten it without lights, we've beaten it without doors, and we've even beaten it by doing absolutely nothing. However, the game has never been properly beaten without the camera. So in this video, that's what I'm gonna do. Everyone else who has attempted this challenge has failed, but I'll be attempting to do what no one else has done. So is it possible to beat the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, including 420 mode, without using the camera? I hope you enjoy. So for starters, we only really have one rule, which is that I am not allowed to at any point use the camera. Do you see this camera button at the bottom of the screen? Yeah, my mouse cannot touch it at all. I can't even use 0-frame flips, although there's no point, they're basically useless. My only other rule I've set for myself is I'm not allowed to use any outside devices to affect the game. So for the person already writing that you can beat the game by doing nothing if you set the game to 1 FPS, I'm not doing that shit. Anything else is on the table, and with that, we begin this challenge with Night 1. Night 1 is literally the most boring night in all of Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, besides FNAF 3 Night 1, but whatever. Since you've clicked on this video, I'm assuming you already know how the animatronics work. But for the one person who has no idea how this game works, let me give like a 10-second explanation. Every animatronic has a movement interval in which they can have a movement opportunity. On this interval, the game rolls a random number between 1 and 20, and if that number is less than or equal to their AI level, then they will move. Basically, every character has an AI and 20 chance to move, since 20 is the max. There, done, I did the thing. Anyways, all that talk was pretty much useless, since in this challenge, 50% of the animatronics are completely removed from the challenge. And to explain why, let me first explain what no cameras actually does to the game. So in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, you have 3 actions you can do. Open and close doors, turn off and on lights, and open and close the camera. However, without the ability to use the camera, the game pretty much just looks like this. So be prepared to see nothing but this for the whole video. Anyways, 3 out of the 4 animatronics are completely reliant on you using the camera to attack you. Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica cannot jump scare you at all if you never enter the camera. So this challenge should be completely free, right? Well, that would be if it wasn't for one more character. But they aren't really an issue on Night 1, so let's just move on to Night 2. So Night 2 is pretty much the same as Night 1, except for the addition of one more character, who is the entire reason this challenge hasn't been beaten yet. And that is, of course, Foxy. Now, Foxy was here on Night 1, but his AI was so low that he just wasn't an issue. However, this is the first night that Foxy actually becomes a problem. Now, Foxy is the only animatronic who can kill you without you needing to enter the cams first. And he is the entire reason you can't just stay in the office doing nothing the entire night, which, I mean, makes sense, but whatever. Foxy's mechanic is entirely reliant on you being in the cameras. He will progress through 3 phases in Pirate's Cove before leaving and running to your office either when you look at the West Hall, which we obviously won't be doing, or he will teleport to your door after 25 seconds. When you use the camera, Foxy will get stalled and he won't be able to progress at all. However, since you can't look at the camera in this challenge, Foxy is free to hit the door as much as he wants. Now, this seems easy enough to count. I mean, just close the left door to prevent Foxy from ever getting in, right? Well, that would be the play if it wasn't for one other quirk with Foxy's mechanic. And this is what makes him, and this challenge in general, so difficult. Every time that Foxy hits the door, he will take away some of your power. The first time he hits the door, he will take 1% of your power. The second time he hits the door, he will take 6% of your power. And every other time he hits the door after the second, he will take 11% of your power. So in other words, if you can lock Foxy down, your power will plummet far. However, on night 2, this isn't really an issue, since Foxy isn't actually aggressive enough to cause an issue. And I managed to beat night 2 on my first try, and we move on to night 3. Night 3 is where things get a lot harder. Freddy does activate on this night, but I mean he's useless, so whatever, moving on. Foxy isn't that much more aggressive on this night, but this is the last night that we can use the strat of just showing the left door and timing out Foxy to save as much power as possible, since you can still win if Foxy hits the door 3 times, but it's just way harder. I'll explain why I'm saying this in the next one. Ideally, you want Foxy to hit the door once, which did happen to me on my first winning run, although you can't tell that because my footage corrupted, so I had to beat night 3 again, which took way longer than I had hoped. But anyways, night 3 was really annoying, but we did manage to get it down, although I did get this really funny Foxy moment.
So I probably won't be able to get convicted more tickets after that, but then
Night 4 is where every single attempt of this challenge has failed. Foxy has an AR level of 6 on this night, and this combined with the aggressive power drain makes this night an absolute nightmare. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jerkai, you can just time out Foxy and hope he doesn't hit the door at all, right? That'll work. Well... So, this is the part of the video where Jerkai Games learns math and tells you how completely impossible this is to do. Keep in mind, I'm not that good at math, but, you know, I do know about this game, and I've got friends who are good at math, so whatever, moving on. So, here's the explanation. In the first 3 hours of night 5, Foxy's AI is set to 5. We know that there were 268 seconds in the first half of the night, and we know that Foxy can never have any stall intervals because the cameras just can't be used at all. So we're solely relying on him failing movements based on pure luck. This leaves Foxy with a 3/4 chance of failing his movement over the course of 53 movement opportunities. This chance comes out to a 0.000023%, which is actually very similar to the chance of beating FNAF 2 Night 4 without ever using the mask. But getting back on track, while this chance is really low, we know that it's okay for Foxy to hit the door maximum 3 times until he really starts mauling the power, only if we play perfectly. So let's take 9 off those movement opportunities and assume that we are playing perfectly, timing out every Foxy hit perfectly, and having the best luck of Bonnie just never showing into the door at all, which is something I didn't really mention because it doesn't really become a factor. This leaves 460 seconds with 9 failed movements allowed. Let's assume that Foxy is at 5 AI the entire night, even though in-game his AI actually increases at 3 and 4 AM by 1, since this will just be easy for us to calculate. And as we punch in the numbers, we learn that the chance of beating night 5 without using the camera by just waiting for Foxy is 1 in 56,888,384,000. What the fuck? So quite easy to say that this challenge is impossible to complete by just pure Foxy luck. And anyone who has done this challenge has either given up here or they've completely faked it. This chance is so small that I am more likely to beat FNAF 2 without the mask, or fuck that, win the lottery 10 times. So with this luck, is this where the challenge ends? Well, it would be on paper. However, as you can kind of tell, it's not over yet.
others are like animals.
That game.
The others are like animals.
Mr. Hubs got me.
The others are under my I know how much you like to fight, so I'll add a new problem to your night. It's so much more fun than that. The others are under my protection. I know how much you like to fight, so we'll add a new problem to your night.
Restaurant yet? And who was that? There's rocks too. Didn't even add. He added Jack Cheetah. No one even cares if the fan is on. We turn that stupid fan stuck on the tower.
others are under my...
Okay, one more attempt.
It's not my
Yeah, who touched me bird?
You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
Maybe. Oh yeah, I'll try.
How unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I know how much you like to fight, so I'll add a new problem to your night.
Stupid things. Is that just the ballerina? It's you, right? I don't know which one. Shouldn't add anything.
He promised them to never leave.
That ran out
I don't
quicker than I
hate you.
expected. Wait, how fast does the timer go? Let's see how fast the timer goes. Wow.
The others are like animals,
17.
but I am very...
17 seconds. Yeah, one more try. This is like serious play. I'm gonna try to use the camera as well as possible. Pause.
unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I know. The others are like it.
I'm done. GG.